Hi guys, welcome back to TOEFL with Juva. The TOEFL writing test has just included a new task called academic discussion. In this video, I will show you what you need to do to get a high score. Let's get started. First, you must know what the task looks like. You need to be ready for the question because it's an unusual format for a test and you only have 10 minutes to write your response. If you know what it looks like, you can focus on the most important parts. The new TOEFL academic discussion question looks like a chat room with comments from a teacher and two students in a university class. Your task is to write a response that gives your own opinions on the topic. There is a prompt that is the same for each question. It says you have 10 minutes to write at least 100 words, which means more than 100 words. It also says that you must give your opinion about the professor's question and develop the conversation with new points. Get used to the prompt so you don't spend too much time reading it. You need that time to read the discussion and to write your response. The first part of the discussion is a post written by a professor. It summarizes a general topic, often in the format of reviewing a previous class. It might also be written as if it's preparation for an upcoming class. Read this section carefully so you know what you need to write about. The actual question you have to answer is also included in the professor's chat. You can usually find it at the end. You may be asked if you agree or disagree with the claim. Which is the better of two choices? What is a good example of a topic, or if there is a solution to a problem? Remember that your response needs to answer this question. Some students just write ideas about the same general topic. That will result in a low score. You need to read the professor's section carefully and make sure your response includes a direct answer to the question. After the professor's chat, there are two student responses. The students might agree with each other or disagree. You have to read these and add another entry to the chat room conversation that includes new ideas of your own. You can't just agree with the ideas that are already written. Tip number 2 is refer to the other students' posts. Don't write a response that doesn't relate to what the other students say. You must refer to the other posts to show that you can interact with classmates. That's an essential skill for a business or college class, right? That means you can't be rude. You must respect the other views or you can lose points. For example, you might say, Rita brings up a good point, but I can imagine that you're thinking, but Juva, I don't know lots of good ways to refer to other students' ideas. That's fine, because it brings me to the next point. Use a template. I love templates. Templates are amazing because they really boost your TOEFL score. They give you sentence starters that use polite language that fits the chat room format. They organize your ideas and provide a variety of grammatical patterns and vocabulary. In short, templates make it so much easier to write a TOEFL response. You can find my template for the academic discussion task and all other templates for the TOEFL by clicking on the link in the description. The academic discussion template includes a lot of polite ways to contrast your view with those of the other students. Practice using it so you can easily write your response on the real test. Let's go on with the next tip. Pick your view. Remember, there is no right or wrong answer, so you can add to the conversation in any way you like. However, if you take too long thinking of the perfect answer, you won't have time to write it. I like to select the side I can easily think of an example for. Why? Because it's essential to have supporting reasons in the response. Sometimes the student responses can help because I think I agree with the first student, or I totally disagree. Then I can think about why I agree or disagree. I can use that reason to write my own viewpoint. Make sure that your response clearly states your opinion. Don't just give an example and assume that the examiner knows what the example refers to. Furthermore, you must add a new point, such as a reason, example, or viewpoint to get the highest possible score. So you can't just agree or disagree. You must explain why with a new idea. Tip number 5 is use good grammar. The TOEFL academic discussion post is a bit different from a full essay because you can be more casual. However, you must be careful because casual language often has poor grammatical structures. For example, modern communication uses many contractions for longer words or ideas. Have you used LOL for lots of laughs in a text recently? It's acceptable for writing to friends, but not for a post in a classroom discussion. Remember that the TOEFL test is checking your ability to use English. You only have about 100 words to show the examiner that you have awesome writing skills. Therefore, you should use complete sentences that showcase a wide range of vocabulary. You need to include pronouns and other linking words that join ideas to each other. You can still get a good score if you are not comfortable with complex structures. Just avoid overly casual writing styles. The level needs to be appropriate for a university discussion among people you don't know very well. Finally, be sure to proofread. After you finish writing, proofread for spelling errors and grammar. Plus, make sure that you have written at least 100 words. If you write less than that, that's a serious error that's really easy to catch by proofreading. Look for repeated words that you can paraphrase to show off your vocabulary. Check to see that your sentences flow together using linking words. Proofreading can really boost your score. Even changing 1 or 2 details can make your writing more understandable. Don't forget to do it. Follow these steps so you can get the highest academic discussion score possible. That's it. That's how to get a high score on the academic discussion task. I hope you guys like this video. If you have any questions or a video wish, comment below and I would love to see you here next time. Bye bye.